Thank you so much, Your Excellencies, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, and really dear friends. I'm already inspired by these presentations, I have to say. It's really wonderful to be here, especially in the House of Nigeria. I have heard many wonderful stories about African women, I have to say. I'm going to focus on just one, and some of you may be from Liberia. In 2002, there was a horrible, brutal civil war where thousands were killed, 1 out of 3 people were homeless, and one ordinary woman, Lema Gabowi, said, enough, that's it. And she stuck to that. She started slowly but mobilized women to have rallies, to have sit-ins. Well, didn't work enough. So then she said, with all her women, no peace, no sex. That got their attention. Eventually, this woman met with the president of the country, Charles Taylor, and basically ended the Civil War, brought peace to her country. This is a wonderful woman, just ordinary, but she's using her womanly capacities. As Mrs. Moon, the co-founder of Universal Peace Federation, has said, the logic of intellect and power has been tried and will never work. It is time for the logic of love. I think Lema clearly knows what the logic of love is. She brought reason to her country, and that reason was love. It is true we cannot create resolution by power or winning lasting peace by force. We will not get anywhere if underneath this treaty lies discrimination and resentment, disconnection, hurt, and mistrust, as Dr. Boris is clearly delineating. Throughout the ages, we've made peace agreements, but the ancestral and historical resentments persist. We justify our violence by hatred, and soon, once again, there is no peace. The heart of the human problem is the human heart. I believe a key to solving the problem of the human heart comes from nurturing the women's strengths in the logic of love in order to become a more whole global family. Whether we are mothers or presidents, our feminine strengths need to be magnified, as Marie Claudine is displaying. But what do you think? Do you think women and men are the same, are different? Anyone? I think those of us that are married probably have a fairly clear opinion that we are different. What do you think? Danish philosopher, one of my favorite quotes. It is good that marriage is for eternity because it'll take at least that long for a man to understand a woman. We do seem to have different gifts, different ways of relating, different ways of looking at the world. We bring different strengths and abilities to our marriage, but when we work together, we complement each other. In a mutually respectful balance, we build a relationship that is much more likely to thrive and much healthier for our children. In the same way, society needs a healthy balance of the yin and yang of the universe, the masculinity and femininity of each one of us, and in all of our relationships. We need that complementarity of give and take of masculinity and femininity, which is seen throughout the universe because it comes from our common origin. Okay, so comparing men and women. Compared to men, women seem compelled to connect, to build relationships. We want to seek what's common between us. We're much more comfortable finding our commonality to connect and don't really want to be better than someone we love. Little girls, you watch them at the playground, they share their secrets, right? They sit close and share their secrets and find what they have in common. Marie Claudine just started talking to a stranger just an hour or so ago. Well, she ended up bringing her over to here. You know, we just do that. I got my job teaching at a college actually through talking to my dry cleaning lady. You know, women connect. What about guys? I have 2 boys. I used to try to correct them that they shouldn't tease each other because they're going to hurt each other, right? Took me a while because then I saw my husband teasing friends and I realized, oh, that's how they connect. That's okay. So, you know, carefully I kind of tease them and they like it. So I can learn too. So we, males and females tend to connect differently with different communication styles. I'm not saying that one is better, but in terms of different communication and our ability to seek commonality and build relationships, we do have an advantage in peace building. Women, for instance, are better at listening. In general, sometimes we're terrible. We seem to be more inclined to being willing to take in another person's feelings and presence, or their perspective. We're willing to be open to what is the other person feeling. And listening is so important because within any close relationship, there is conflict, there is differences, there's different styles, different needs. So how do we resolve that? Many people try to solve conflicts without understanding each other. Where does that go? We just debate and argue, and we just raise our voice louder or speak stronger, or we show our anger to prove that we really are right. That doesn't go anywhere. But in fact, communication cannot happen until one actually is open to receiving the other perspective. When we sit down and choose to be open to one another, and quiet our noisy minds that are focused with our own thinking and our own justification, our own debates, right? Amazing things happen. When 2 conflicted people or tribes sit down and communicate their situation clearly, as Dr. Boris has spoken of, setting aside our blames and our assumptions, it may take some time, but we can get to the point of both feeling understood, and that makes all the difference. In fact, in any dispute, once understanding, empathy, and commonality have been established, real solutions can be found. Once parties have the heart to solve the problem out of genuine connection to each other, the external issues actually become more manageable. Peace building is actually relationship building, right? Women, we can build and influence our culture, our families, our men, to build more of that compassion and empathy. We need to nurture truly the parental heart toward each other. We need to develop the yin and yang within ourselves, in our relationships, and in our world. This represents, again, our common origin, God. So, what can we do? We can pay more attention to building good relationships. We can insist that we have better relationships of mutual respect. We have to practice ourselves good listening, but certainly teach it. Teach it in our families. Teach it in wherever we are, in all our relationships. Teach empathy by doing that. It's a wonderful spiritual discipline. We need to promote and support women in leadership roles, presidents to whatever role. But don't undermine the critical importance of motherhood and marriage. Don't undermine it thinking that our career is more important than that. Motherhood is where the human heart is grown in the family. The family is the school of love. So let's keep our balance, ladies. What else can we do? Get more involved in interfaith, promoting spiritual principles. We're going to have a wonderful session tonight, this afternoon, with our interfaith session, so please stay. We need to advocate for children by building strong marriages and families. We need to teach. We need to sing and dance. Is that my cue? We need to teach healthy relationships, but healthy relationships, again, based on this human quality of our spiritual oneness with each other. We need to teach the values and the logic of love. Thank you very much.